A possible recession is top of mind for a lot of investors, but one bank is optimistic in the future of the U.S. economy, and that's BNP Paribas. Here with us now is the CEO of BNP Paribas USA. He is also the chairman of CIB Americas, Jean-Yves Fillion. And so good to have you. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we have this jobs report today. Not great, not horrible, sort of meh. Why so optimistic?
Well, I don't know if optimistic is a word, but there is no question this U.S. economy is slowing down. But by the way, working for a global firm, this is not very different from what's happening in the global economy. And you still have a strong economy here. Still, when you look at GDP growth, you look at employment, still extremely low. Even consumer confidence and spending is still there. Spending time with a lot of CEOs, daily, weekly, their level of confidence remain very strong on a day-to-day, very active, very committed, good business dynamic, very liquid capital markets. Where I see some hesitation, it's really when we start speaking about the medium term. I believe it's more driven by outside factors, uncertainty linked to some geopolitical, political, and social tensions versus really what's happening here. Our economists still see forecast 2019 a strong 2.5% GDP growth here. Forecast for 2020, 1.5%, still healthy compared to the rest of the world.
You talk to a lot of big name CEOs. To what extent, what level of chaos is the trade war causing for them right now? Planning, hiring, you name it.
It's a concern. And it's exactly what you're highlighting, actually. This uncertainty, very complicated to predict. I was with actually a CEO of one of our large U.S. manufacturer clients last week. It's pretty clear when you export to China and when you import. He was explaining to me that over the last 18 months, he's seen volatility in tariff to China, ranging from 15 to 40%. Being a steel and aluminum importer, this company has been, challenged on the same, on the other side, but the same way. Impact on the P&L, impact on an ability to predict.
You sort of take this larger look at the overall global economy. We've had some guests on making the argument for why emerging markets may be the place to be right now. Not overweight emerging markets, but some exposure to EM despite the higher dollar. What are your thoughts on that?
I wish I had a crystal ball here, obviously, and this is a complex world. But I think the point you make, and I think what we have benefited from at BNP Paribas, is this geographical diversification. And when you can actually navigate Europe, Asia, Americas, including emerging markets, obviously it gives you more room to maneuver and to adapt, and benefiting from some of these economies that under certain conditions are doing better than others.
BNP is such a big player in financing and transactions. Do you think deals are getting ready to slow down because of the trade war?
Well, that's part of it. And this uncertainty is probably impacting more like medium-term decisions. I see less willingness to invest in CapEx, for instance. We've seen some slowing down in M&A. However, speaking of deals, look at this week. Like a record year in terms of, and record week, I should say, in terms of, high-grade issuance. Over $74 billion of debt was issued this week. Really here, U.S. corporates capitalizing on this historically low rate environment and doing some quite effective liability management. We at BNP Paribas having an ability to raise capital in US dollars, in euros, where we lead, have been very active in this capital raising on both sides of the Atlantic.
Before we let you go, I know you are a big tennis fan. Does Serena win this?
This one I really wish I had a crystal ball.